Do you feel like your guitar solos are a little robotic, right? A little boring? Just like you're rambling up and down the scale, not really saying anything. Let me give you this trick and exercise to make your guitar solos way more compelling. If you don't know, my name is Ryan Gahn. I've been teaching guitar players for 22 years now how to break past this robotic, really boxy pentatonic plateau that we all get into and really bridge the gap between the creative ideas and what they're able to play. If you would, hit the subscribe and bell notification to get more videos on how to make your guitar playing better. A huge part of this problem is our 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? Just going up and down the scale, okay? We need to get away from that. Of course, phrasing, ending on a tension, right? Resolve, actually saying something within our solos. Music is a language, the guitar is just the voice that we're singing or speaking that language through, is very important. But one main aspect is, even if I'm building tension and resolution, right, and giving these phrases and trying to move a story along, if I'm not saying those phrases in an interesting way, the rhythm, then it's still going to be flat and boring, okay? If I have this, it's not getting any better. I can even add more modes. So I can do Aeolian. It's not going anywhere, right? But if I have just two notes and I play it rhythmically interesting, I'm already on my way. Boom. Okay, so let's take that concept and just put it into the rest of our guitar solos. The exercise that I want you to try is simply putting a metronome on, all right? I have it right here. I have it on 100 BPM. And play something that's gonna make your head bob. This doesn't, very boring. So if I do, getting anything interesting. It's just on the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I need to mix it up much more than that, okay? So just pick one note and start there. Just try to give something that's gonna make your head bob a little bit and get a little bit of a groove, okay? That's our exercise, okay? That is the main part of this lesson. 2, 3, 4. That is it. Doing that for hours. Not really. I mean, that would get really boring. I mean, it would make you way better if you did that for hours, right? But doing that over and over and over, it's getting you to think within the timing, right? You're in the 100 BPM timing structure, but playing a lot more compelling rhythms, right? You can do that sort of syncopation, or syncopation is what we're really aiming for, and really cutting it short, like staccato. Right, almost gets like a little bit of a funk guitar type sound. That's really great because you can really hear where those notes are, right, rather than playing like some longer notes. Then you do the same idea, right? Just start mixing up how long you're holding those notes for and which ones you're cutting off, right? We start getting into something that, even though we're just one note, can be a little bit more melodic. The reason that this is really great is just in that rhythm, that last note that I'm holding out is the strong note of the phrase because it's being held out, right? So I don't know if we're going to play this exactly the same way, but if I have, it's on a 16th note, right after that downbeat. So I'm playing prominent notes on non-prominent beats in the 16th note, right? If I have 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E is where that sort of happens. If I'm doing that, I'm not just playing my prominent notes on beats 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and because once I divide it into eighth notes, they're still all going to be prominent. That's why this 1 and isn't that much more compelling, right? And then, hitting something on one of those 16th notes. and then letting it carry over the next beat. So I'm not just hitting 1, 2, and 3, right? 1, 2, and 3, right? Letting it carry over shows that I'm able to use those weaker 16th note beats for more prominent notes, right? This is how we just get more and more compelling. What I really like about this particular exercise is the more that you do it, the more that this just makes its way into your playing, and you don't have to pre-plan it. You know what I mean? You don't have to think, oh my goodness, like, am I going to do it? No, it will just start making its way into your playing. Now we're taking note choice away, and those beginning examples is the reason why. A lot of people will say like, oh, it just sounds like I'm running up and down the scale. You are. So when they say, oh, give me the next position in the pentatonic and the next position or modes, it's not going to make it any better. I'm not going anywhere. But if I start adding some more notes to an already compelling rhythm, right, now I can really get somewhere. But if I have my rhythm, maybe I'll add a couple more notes, not just one, right? So if I have... right? I'm already on my way to something more compelling. Now, when I take this into my guitar solos, right? If I'm just playing this now, it's gonna make its way in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, and I'm going to be playing something that is more listenable rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a... Right, none of that is going to be very compelling if I'm just sticking to these very even, strong beats, and sort of even patterns of 1, 2s, 3s, and 4s. 1s meaning the if I'm just sticking to the quarter note, right, or subdivide it into 2 with the 8th note, or subdivide it just into 4. For the 16th notes. I'm not getting anything interesting in that way. So doing this will make its way into your playing. I promise you, it'll make it so much better. One last little addition to be thinking about when you're doing this exercise is don't worry about where these fall. Okay, don't worry, oh my gosh, that is on the and of 1 and this is going to be on the E of 2. Don't worry about that, right? You're able to hear, I'm sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we just want to mix it up. Go in between the 1 ands, right? So that's 3, 4, 1 and. Right, you're just playing in between and not hitting every single 1, 2, 3, 4 or every single 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? That's what's going to make it interesting. So you don't have to know how to count it out, how to transcribe it, you know, in music notation or anything like that. So all of that being said, if you are an intermediate guitar player and you're sort of stuck in that really boxy, robotic, boring pentatonic plateau that we all get into, and you really want to bridge the gap between your creative ideas and what you're able to play, becoming fully fretboard fluent, comment pro below, or you can go to a link for a free training. It's like 3 steps to full fretboard fluency. And it just talks about like why we get stuck in those plateaus and how to break out of them so you don't get stuck in the next one. And then 3 steps to not just break out of them, but to put into your guitar solos to make them that much more compelling right away. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.